So the first thing that you want to do if you're going to buy a home is you figure out if you can get approved for financing, unless you're sitting on cash and you're going to write a check for it. And if you are, then good for you. You don't need my help, so you can go ahead and end the podcast here. But for those of you who need a finance, you need to talk to a lender and get pre-approved for a mortgage. So a pre-approval for a mortgage, we're going to do a few different things. So the first thing we do is connect with our clients for a phone call to go through an initial consultation. The initial consultation is like a 15-minute call where we're just gathering information on what your goals are, when you want to buy, what your budget is for what I call the two most important numbers, your monthly payment and total cash to close. We're going to talk about where you want to buy and how much you have available to put down, and roughly what your credit score is, what you do for a living, those types of things. And then we're going to send you a link to submit an application online, and you're going to have to provide some paperwork to verify your income and your assets. So generally speaking, we're looking at 2 years of tax documents. We're looking at 2 months of bank statements. We're getting pay stubs. We're getting, if you have a pension, we're getting a pension award letter. Or if you have Social Security income, we're going to get your Social Security award letter. So any accounts that you would use to go toward the transaction for down payment and closing costs, we need those monthly statements the last 2 months and all pages. And we're very picky about that because that is a government requirement. We've got to get all pages. So we're going to have you submit the application online, submit your paperwork, and then we'll run a credit report. And that credit report gives us your credit score and your credit history. So we look at the paperwork, your credit, what you're applying for, and then we analyze that and let you know if you're pre-approved. So when you get pre-approved, our next step is to schedule a consultation with me. So I'll meet with you over Zoom for 1 hour, and we're going to go through all the details of the home buying process. And I'm going to tell you about what programs you've been pre-approved for and what the cost is and how much it's going to be per month for a payment, how much you're going to have to pay at closing. We're going to go through all the closing costs line by line, so you've got a great idea of what you're looking at from a closing cost perspective. And then I'm going to give you an overview of what the next steps are in the process. So that's called a pre-qual consultation, and we do those over Zoom. So you have an initial call with us, you submit an application online and submit your paperwork. My team runs your credit, reviews all of your paperwork, lets you know if you're pre-qualified. They send you a pre-qualification letter, and then you have a Zoom consultation with me to go through all the details. So now at that point, you are pre-approved or pre-qualified. And people use those terms interchangeably. They actually technically mean different things. Pre-qualification means that you've had a verbal discussion with a lender. They may have run your credit and they've told you that you're likely to get approved for a loan. A pre-approval means that a lender has run your credit, they've reviewed all of your income and asset paperwork, and we've run what's called an automated underwriting system to see if we're getting an approval on your loan. So the pre-approval is one step further than a pre-qualification. But what makes it confusing is in Arizona, we have what's called an AZ pre-qual form. The AZ pre-qual form is part of the Arizona purchase contract, and it is required to be submitted with an offer when you submit an offer on a home. So it's called a pre-qual form, but it really is a pre-approval because on that document, it shows like what paperwork we've collected from you and reviewed. And it's very important that we're able to check all the boxes to show that we've collected all of your paperwork. So pre-approval is stronger than a pre-qualification. One thing that we'll do after that pre-qual consultation is take a third step, which is to submit your loan into underwriting for an approval. So this is something that not all lenders do, but we offer it here at Cross Country Mortgage. So we'll send your loan in, an underwriter will review the loan, and then we're able to issue a full underwriting approval on the mortgage, which we do for two reasons. One, when you submit an offer on a new property, you can provide a AZ pre-qual form showing that you've been pre-qualified or a pre-approval letter. But then if you've been underwritten and approved, you can provide an underwriting approval letter, which is even stronger than a pre-qual letter. So it's going to give you a better chance of getting an offer accepted when you submit an offer on that dream home that you find. So getting the underwriting approval gives you a better chance of getting your offer accepted, and it completes part of the underwriting process up front so that we're already halfway done by the time you go under contract on the home. The last thing is we've got a lock and shop program where we can lock your interest rate up front for 90 days. before you've identified a property. And given today's environment where rates are rising so quickly, that's a huge advantage to be able to lock in your rate and protect yourself from further price erosion. So we'll have the pre-qual consultation, then we'll submit your loan into underwriting, and now you've got the opportunity to lock your rate. So let's recap that. So you submit your application. We have the pre-qual consultation. Now you've been underwritten and approved. That approval is good for a total of 4 months, and then your documents expire at the end of 4 months. Your credit report expires at the end of 4 months.